Mr. Lynch likes will be like forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, or 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 simply, David, not digits, January 29, so really only 3 days to the end of this January 2020, also really last Tuesday, obviously, first month of this January 2026, 2026, it's in fact Tuesday. It enables today totally cloudy, white degree cloudy, sky perhaps more green, white sky, day, sky and atmosphere in general, and it also seems very still now. It's perhaps with a wind cold and deep, you can see the April. It's early afternoon 13 and 39. It's 55 for Fahrenheit 13 Celsius, and this means that it's really cold like this. You effect cold scatch for the winter period supports for rescue, as we can see effect chant and for yes last June 17 effect really come for rescue the course last summer in general summer. As absolutely non remember if you follow with me, non gas per summer fic body. Also effect really will come for rescue also si guarda YouTube. Now as regard we are coming also si guarda the winter because on December 2021. In particular on 16:04 and 3 p.m. in Italy, or as absolutely non remember finché poi sono un po' così di a misura tra i siete delle musiche sono società senza purpose effect più 100 io se penso stiamo rap per oxyot for me la niente si non integra lo sopra spring di summer di uto senza fare spring so c'è soft for esempio agit for uto one second agit soft sono tanti già for si sempre sa classica ti a segrete di ghisa ti si news se così effettuata assolutamente incomplete but no in this video because see it's winter it's cold so in general we complain we complain the contrary. But when I see the sentence absolutely incomplete, I'm referring as referred to me, in particular perhaps in this period for the fact that I don't feel cold, but I feel cold less. And other people think that this assess of a practice, but two practice follow the news some years to which I was trying to for cold. And when I come in the winter period, the winter weather reports videos, I had to write a comment which I could spend time to practice. In this case, this year, I brought it in the asterisk, first part of the first comment. So in case you are in someone is interested, first part of the video with the asterisk, I repeat to come to practice, I don't first people from later think fact or not because I feel cold. From later think, oh yes, I don't know, this time I think 95% I feel cold. Or in general, in some way for me, what's good. Instead, but I got to in general way, I think I can say the just following it's better, at least it can be feeling some of this. Being the afternoon, I think at 10.6 a bit just before 55 45 and 13 Celsius. But l'importante in questa atmosfera è che ci vedi si può dire di sé. Essere cortine insomma deve essere corte in genere, siamo diventati entrambi ci siamo perfect. Se suppose fa consultazione da ripetere se sky white cloudy, white gray cloudy, and according to the yes, continuing trends last days, according continuing with the reading, I think it's most sure that later it became dark bleak and also that might in a few months, I think regulars consider also fact also tonight or a few hours before it was raining. We see let's see what happens. I think yes. At as always, no, bisogna immaginare so wizard si possono sì inizia clear can today very clear. Bad well. So perhaps bad the maximum to us a little good. sì, sono un video, quindi non è cortino, in fra sono mix, te pensi in cortino, se sta number one, magari ti sono uso burst di the previous particular bertini, previous te solo vu sono noi sit was beautiful grey cortino, beautiful paint with the branches. Prepare all things to pass from fact the previous cortino, no, all the things read, met si nel senso che si vanno mai comments come section, ci pure ponte delle feste comment perhaps forte comment one of them non si ride comment section, I don't know if you can see you can see on a task it read well shot near me from it from yes. See the green flowers, longer flowers, mixed triplets. Or if not, even better, usually better than I shot practically the first part of video, which Perugia shot you do others atmosphere and Jeffrey said. This classic mythical winner, classic mythical room was perhaps one there's also another mythical room, another mythical window. Ora, from a broader perspective, also from inside practically a shot similar to Cazio shot film non identity sicuro, previous cortine bit visual grey cortine visual. The benches perhaps also for the first cortine. The story of reports color cortine if I don't remember exactly this, sure, color cortine stealing cover image of China. And one day as you know, time should change it however, and this I was saying this shot also related to the fact of both when recent I can only shoot and also on this, but more when this effects mention as read test pictures centers saying is used for previous cortine bit visual grey cortine visual pentagon benches perhaps also for the first cortine bit color cortine in case I don't remember exactly this, and also in this case now say read it for this new cortine, sorry but I repeat expression also in case for first time, so yeah, yes, this little picture sentence is this, but also and always better visible for me in its entity in this shot at this point mythical legend shot. Regarding riuscito attivism fantastic activism in the first days of last October, but it's important to remember some part that also today is not visible. Now, the little special center for the continuous for it, so I also for it, so repeat once again, but also always better visible for me in its entirety. In this shot at this point, is mythical legend shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, an GX 640 PG 625 also indicates the beginning of the shot. Yeah, get more people for sure. The process is getting better. I'm so my sister. So myself across the and finally, I hope you all get breakfast. Today it's late in general. Also, my last fact I say late for us. And if some means it's last December 31 and occasion fact for first time. It's late in general and above all for the record, but not at all for my husband. It's a kind of normality for me. Make breakfast this hours at the same time it's late, but it's a normality. But above all important that questi fare food record action sembrano tutti quest'anno fa che breakfast fintene simbiot stato it thinking milk at fintene in parte mette tu si essa si finca record si sembrano tutti su daracho ma tu ripete cosa si record it was from us 50 ma not yes more no yes they're just roll up just in quote 13 and 39 minutes. But l'important thing is to see me that in some way also do 40 minutes so a million and as we always see breakfast sono must be some food absolutely. Non senza basta io metto su morning solo sto conti effect x from this Friday ti cresce in the week of 6 Friday and it was a fifth beautiful red black and also white that if the more in comparison with the previous all things that can perhaps follow the particular effect of Friday so that was I don't know Sì, scioglie vita in birra, progetto one day, quanto personalità c'è per support presidente, c'è stato sempre insieme, insomma, si dice, sono scelto, così non si c'è così, che come sono io, non ci sono inizio gioco, sono come sono io, mi fingo, insomma, si inizio gioco, sono come sono io, insomma, non sono preso una scelta, allora, mi fai, improvvisare la biscuit, mi fai, la mia biblioteca come superiore, questo si è finito una mezza, non mi sa, cioccolata chip cookies, lo vuoi dire, cioccolata chip cookies, fatto mi si mi sa, nothing in particular. I think it's always right. And this is what to make facts short for the coffee. Doesn't squeak shock if it's not fresh to make me short change for stuffing. Say months. Si sa lo conosci, mi capire se mi piace questo better, questo non è quick si finisce no, se non si vede tutto I think 200 and 2 3 4 days si sa lo conosci, mi dimmi se non piace questo better cosa. So, I bought insert it. No, sono scusa, mi finisce. I bought insert it once again. So per quello quindi se fosse tecnico di becca siamo sempre un particolare se si chiede spirito gioco su come sono io su questo mi film questo non ti via e senza che non sono se tolli in questo becca su no se continui sono sia ne fa più sia sta la cola che anzi magari capsule ciò che sei poi da pronta cioè non sempre preso position mi cosa ma ti fai preso position quindi era fa che in Italia pam dark shop fa questa tua come non dico because they are really super bad. Sì, tomorrow is supposed to fun today. If I can't do tomorrow, I'll do 11. Well, see.